Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys all are full. You've had your lunch. Hopefully not too sleepy. So just a quick introduction about myself. I've worked in BMC for nearly close to 3 years, about 2.5 years now. In fact, 3 months ago, I came to Malaysia to do another seminar. And one question I asked the audience was more about myself. But I actually tested the audience on, if I tell you that I painted this picture over here, would you believe me? Show of hands if you would believe me and say, yep, Anthony painted this. Okay, very little people. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, the answer is no, I did not paint this. I'm nowhere near talented when it comes to artistic. In fact, this was generated by AI. It is one of the products called Midjourney. All you had to do was give it about 10 words and tell them, hey, can you generate me a picture of Kuala Lumpur? I'm doing an IT conference. I want it to have a sunset at the background. And it just generates you something like this. And that indicates the power of AI. And since the pandemic, we have been talking to a lot of customers in BMC. We've been understanding with all the banking, all the financial sector customers that they are all doing a lot of digital transformation. Things are changing a lot faster than it used to be before COVID. And as such, there is actually an explosion of new devices. Many companies have shifted towards from the traditional development lifecycle into the DevOps style. They have all transformed into the cloud model. And as such, the number of services that you're monitoring, the number of assets that you're managing have just skyrocketed. Everyone is focusing on automation. And a lot of companies are actually struggling to hire the basic of IT jobs. IT operators have a very high attrition. I think in certain countries in the world, there's about 44% attrition rate where people are just leaving and churning through the jobs. And of course, who can forget ChatGPT that came out about 6 months ago, which really took AI to the next level. So I'm going to ask a quick question. So for those people who can answer, firstly, has everyone used ChatGPT before? Yes? Okay. So I'm going to quickly ask you for the first 5 to 10 use cases of ChatGPT that you have used. The first 10 people gets a prize from the lady at the back. Can someone give me an example of how you use ChatGPT? Just stand up and shout if you have an answer.
To draft a legal letter.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
To draft a legal letters.
Draft a legal paper? Wow.
Letters.
Letters, okay. Are you suing people using ChatGPT? Impressive. Any other use cases? Yes. Sorry, there's a mic on your left.
Writing and debugging programs.
Writing and debugging programs. Very good. Thank you. I'm glad someone mentioned that. I use that quite a lot. And there's one at the back.
To reply standard email.
To reply on emails. Very good. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to stop there, Vanessa, or else we're going to be here for a long time. If you want more prizes, do come to our booth at the end. Give me your use cases. I'm very much interested. The reason why we are interested is because we are actually building our own Helix GPT within the Helix platform as well. So we're actually getting a lot of these use cases from the different customer. But anyway, so as you can see, based on all these digital transformation, things are changing so quickly, but it's not always positive. What we're seeing is there are some companies where the transformation is happening so fast that there's an increase in unexpected outages. People are deploying stuff without thoroughly testing, and as such, is actually bringing down services. And because the system is complex, or they're losing out on people that knows the system well, the troubleshooting process can be prolonged. And the result of that is for your end user, they're quite frustrated, Something as simple as a banking application can all of a sudden die due to an update. And that's not what, that's something that you don't want naturally. So pretty much everyone is looking for the same thing is one, let's leverage AI for efficiency. Let's sue people more efficiently, let's code more effectively, and in general, just improve your day-to-day, replying your emails even. All these daily operations can be done a lot more effectively using AI. And AI ops is not a new concept. It has been around for a long time, but in the past year, it has really become more and more mature. If you look at the Gartner hype cycle that was published somewhere in 2022, you see that there's a lot of new concepts coming in on the left-hand side, some of which is are pretty much all related to AI, like AI-related problem management, AI response, AI knowledge management. And there's something called service operations as well. And we're very proud that this term service operations actually exists in the Gartner lifecycle. And that's because about 3 years ago, BMC have already been selling the message that service management and operations management cannot work in silo. It has to be working on the same platform. And we take that principle so seriously that we actually redesign all our solutions based on this principle, where we call this service ops. The result of that is Helix. And the Helix platform is the revamped platform that allows us to consolidate all the service management and operations management data and actually start building our capabilities on top of this platform. And what capabilities, you say? So Helix, in general, we have 5 pillars of capability. The first one is discover. Discover means I want to see what is running in my environment. Then it's about monitoring the healthiness of the environment, making sure it's actually healthy, making sure you have the AI ops capability to help you look after all those monitoring events. Having your service management, your ticketing, making sure all these events and incidents, all these activities are recorded so that you have an audit trail of what is happening. Then there is the remediation. You want to automate that, and you want to integrate with the different systems that you already have so that you can remediate and auto-remediate a lot of your day-to-day issues. And lastly, for those people who have gone cloud, you probably have seen that the price of your hosting is increasing every year, which is why the need for optimization has came out very, very recently. In fact, 2 weeks ago, Amazon actually said they have moved from the cloud services into a monolithic on-premise solution in order to host the Amazon Prime solution. And that have actually created them a reduction of 70% infrastructure costs. So it's quite interesting how we go in a cycle where people wanted to go reduce on cost by going onto cloud, but then our biggest cloud provider actually goes back on-premise in order to reduce their OpEx. So, and these are all a lot of information. All this information cannot be taken care of by human beings. And if you rely on human in order to handle these messages, you're not going to get very far. So this is the result of our Helix platform. Firstly, we understand we are handling a lot of data, which is why we started out from the ground up. We rebuilt a data lake. The data lake can process and ingest data so fast that in one of our POC, where we did with a telco in Australia, we were able to ingest upward of 90 million events per minute. So that was a number that we simply could not handle back in the old days. But after the revamp, we were able to handle that. Second point about this solution is whenever people look at our solution and go, oh, we need integration, does that mean we need to pay a lot of people to build this integration? The answer is no. BMC actually acquired a company that specializes and focuses on these integrations. So we have made sure that we design our solution so that any integrations, the cost of it is not given to the customer, but is all available out of the box. Naturally, this libraries of out-of-the-box connector is growing every quarter, where we continually release new connectors there. And lastly, all these capabilities that we're building on this platform, we are continually to revamp our solution capabilities so that we can actually handle the demands of today. ChatGPT was actually the latest demand that came out about 3 months ago. And now we're already doing a lot of collaboration workshop with our different customer in order to come up with the different use cases where our GPT can actually help different companies. So going back to AI ops, and more specifically in operations, and people ask, okay, so AI can do all these things. What does AI ops actually mean for BMC? I want to share a little experience that I went through about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was working for HP. A lot of my team was actually based in Cyberjaya, and they look after infrastructure managed services. In Chinese New Year, I believe it was 10th of February 2013, I was given a call and I was asked, I was told that the system that I was managing actually went down. And the flow goes something like this. And the end customer calls up someone, that someone says, oh, hey, the website is down, calls me up and say, oh, hey, our infrastructure is having issue. And then we fight, we talk, and then we go into a war room. 8 hours later, it turns out I still don't have an access into the server that we needed to log into to start troubleshooting. It was a very painful experience, but that was by no means the only experience. Every time I get a call from the customer, we need to go into a war room, and it becomes a very stressful environment. It becomes a matter of you're guilty unless proven innocent, where we go to each of the team and go, hey, have you done a health check? Unix team, have you done a health check? Database team, network team, have you done a health check? And all that can be automated very well. And so going back to AI ops, what does AI ops actually do? In short, it does three main things really well. One, it's going to help you predict your anomalies. So it's going to help you to become a lot more proactive so that you find an issue before your customer does. Number two is once you see that there is an issue, find out what the cause is. You're going to be swarmed with events from different monitoring tools. You need to understand what is your cause versus what are your symptoms. Number three, based on the issues and symptoms that you can see, what are the potential resolution for it? Due to time constraint, I'm not going to go into all these details, but just wanted to quickly share with you what that would look like from a probable cause analysis point of view, where it's going to show you the service mapping. It's going to consolidate all these different events for you. It'll go into the potentially related situations that has happened to you before. So what this actually means is, and lastly, it can also explain to you what are the potential causes of this issue, and it also shows you what's the reason why this machine learning thinks that the cause is potentially in that area. So basically, once you have a service mapping, it no longer requires you to manually health check each of the components. It will actually tell you which area is green, which area is not having issue, versus which part is showing potential causes of your problem. So as a result of that, what we want this to achieve for our customer is that, one, you can become a lot more proactive with your monitoring so that you're no longer waiting for customer call. You can find out there's an issue before customer feels it. Number two is you will be able to find the cause of it before your customer feels it, and actually quickly troubleshoot and resolve the issue beforehand. So that everything becomes a lot more proactive. You're no longer being squashed between your customer and your IT team, and hopefully life becomes a lot more simpler. And as I was saying, Helix GPT is also working in behind it. So as it is available today, Helix GPT is already there doing ticket summarization. So when we did event correlation there before, you're looking at hundreds of events. We feed that into a GPT agent and ask GPT, can you please summarize all that in a short summary for us, so that instead of saying, oh, what does these 100 events mean, it will actually be summarized into a short phrase for you, so that right away you know what is the symptom of your issue. Naturally, it is there to support our AI ops in order to help you find where the issue is, as well as potential resolution for it. And more is coming soon. It's going to help you predict more of the resolution. It's going to help you to do problem management. It's going to help you create a better chatbot, creating a better knowledge base. So many more is coming. And AI ops is not all that hard to do as well. There's 3 main points for AI ops. 1 is you need to have a good observability. 2 is you have a good service model. And 3, you have to have the culture of automating everything. And all these 3 things can be done very easily with our solution. So if you're interested, please do come talk to us and we can share with you in more details. And lastly, this solution is not new. This solution is widely adopted in the Europe region. It's slightly newer for APJ region, but in general, we already have customers who are getting value out of this solution. So don't hesitate to come and talk to us and get more details. Thank you for your time.
All right, so thank you once again, Anthony Chung, for your time today. We truly appreciate it.